Staying independent. Many in the music industry pride themselves on this, but few accomplish it on a major level. In this installment of The Biz Plan, we speak with the owner of Funk Volume, Damian Ritter, and he explains just how he did it.
I actually got started in business probably when I was about 9 or 10. I was that cat that was in the neighborhood that would pass out flyers to wash your car or to mow your lawn and stuff like that. So I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. And even at a young age, I knew I wanted to major in business, to eventually start my own business. So I've known for quite some time that I kind of had turned to the Bay Area to go to Stanford and got my MBA. Music wasn't in the back of my mind at all. I thought I was going to go into investment management. When I graduated from Stanford, I took a job as a management consultant at Deloitte Consulting in Chicago. So I wasn't enjoying my experience at Deloitte, but I did get laid off at the end of 2008. And that just so happened to coincide with a phone call from my brother, who's an artist on the label. His name is Swizz. He was going to UC Irvine at the time, and he was kind of frustrated with his situation. He wanted to kind of drop out and do music full time. And at the same time, he had a friend named Hopsin. They went to high school together. He was signed to Ruthless Records at the time, but they weren't really doing anything with his music. So in two different kind of ways, they both needed help kind of getting their music out there. Hopsin always had the idea to start his own label. He already had the idea of Funk Volume. He just needed someone that he can team up with on the business end, and we decided to partner up and start the label at the same time that I got laid off at the end of 2008. It wasn't a very clean break. You know, I didn't just stop and decided to work on Funk Volume full time. I was still going back and forth trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and had a lot of different ideas. And the help that I was providing, kind of setting Funk Volume up, like I could do more beyond that in the beginning, because there wasn't, you know, I wasn't as busy as I am now with the label. So even putting on conferences in different spaces, so the healthcare space and filed on, you know, in order to make money. So I did that. That was a full-time job. So I was doing a lot of different things, just trying to figure out my situation, but at the same time, helping the guys plant the foundation for the label. I didn't pour a ton of money into Funk Volume right away. To be honest, I didn't know what it would go into. I mean, we funded some videos. I paid for the website to get up. You know, our success has kind of been built over a long period of time, just kind of reaching out to fans and really establishing a very organic momentum. To me, I've never seen anything where you could just throw a lot of money at it and then things just do really well. We built these relationships with our fans over the last 6 years. The strategy was to put out content and to be heavily interactive with the fans. So we responded to every email, we responded to every post, and just continue to build that relationship from somebody that might have just watched your video. You know, that might be somebody just kind of interested. You want to continue to build that relationship so they go from somebody that's kind of interested to a fan to ultimately a super fan, where they're kind of like your street team, your internet street team. And I think people got to know the guys very well because of their interaction and because of the quality of the music. You know, it just continued to grow. You know, there's really no secret to what we did. There's no special sauce. Being independent in hip hop as opposed to any other genre, it's easier because hip hop fans are so passionate. They're so passionate. They're willing to argue, they're willing to fight. You know, in the barbershop, they're gonna talk about who is the better rapper. You know, you really don't hear that in other genres. And I think that, you know, we've kind of capitalized on that energy, and that's helped, you know, fuel, you know, a lot of the momentum that we've got, just kind of the passion of the genre. We have with our artists what, you know, it seems looked down upon and people hate it, but it's a 360 deal in its essence. So we participate in every revenue stream. We're not only the label, but I also manage the artists as well. And we help grow the artists and help support them in every way. So we think a 360 deal, and that they're comfortable and they feel good about the relationship forever. I'm Damian Ritter, and this is my biz plan.